We turned this unloved corner of our property into a custom cozy fire pit. And we're here to show you just how easy it is to DIY this for yourself and enjoy cozy evenings with family and friends while making lasting memories. First things first, although this requires very little materials, you will need to head to your local hardware store. Pick up some concrete cinder blocks, 4x4s, and some vertical blinds. We'll get into more detail later. You'll need to scout out the perfect spot. Ours happened to have a fire pit that inspired this idea. Don't worry if you don't have one literally lying around, you can make one out of cinder block as well. For 3 benches, you'll need 18 cinder block and 6 4x4s. Ground prep is totally optional, but it's fall here and leaves are everywhere. We went the extra mile and smoothed out any high points with a shovel. Plan where you want your benches to go first and make sure each seat has the best possible view. We found that 3 cinder blocks high is the perfect height. You want the bottom 2 blocks holes facing up and the top block facing out. You can set the 4x4s on top of the bricks and shimmy them in, or struggle like we did and slide them in from the side. We chose pressure-treated wood to protect it from the elements, but you can choose to seal your 4x4s as well. If you need more seating space, you can slide in an additional 2x4 in each hole to thicken the bench.
We didn't quite level this area out, so I'm going to move these bricks away, level it so it's flat, put the bricks back.
Once the bricks are stacked, the best part about this build is you can just slide the wood right in. As we said, there's absolutely no power tools needed. Any tools really besides a shovel, and if you have hands, that's optional as well. Me and this man, who people call my husband, have committed to each other, but we weren't ready to commit to where these benches would go. If you, however, are ready for commitment, I recommend buying this Loctite glue and a caulk gun. As demonstrated here, place on the cinder block like so.
You're not going to say anything?
It's a voiceover.
Place in between each individual brick, but keep in mind that this will make them heavy,
like
which is part of why we weren't ready to put the glue on just yet. Now pause and admire your benches thus far. Remember those vertical blinds? We acquired those from our abandoned mobile home project. Coming soon. Or you can use landscape edging. We then duct tape them into a circle. If you're getting any value from this video, please subscribe so we can bring you more DIY projects. I got some garden pins to pin down the vertical blinds. I found that they were a little bit too short for doing it on top, so I pinned them from the side, and I also found that you can use a rock and laid out all the tape so that we can tape each individual blind. This part is very important. We then laid out all our forms to visualize what all the pavers would look like.
For extra strength, we're going to use some of this chicken wire because we don't want the pavers to be too thick, but if they get too thin, they can crack when you step on them. So we're going to cut these to form, and it'll make them super strong and rigid. It's basically mini rebar.
If your pavers are in a high traffic area, I would highly recommend using some chicken wire or rebar in your pavers.
First I'm put a little bit.
If you have never mixed concrete before, it's okay to start with small batches and experiment as you build up with more and more material.
We'll do about half the bag right now.
It's good to go in layers, first layer being water so that the powder doesn't stick to the bottom, and then adding more water and concrete as you go. You'll want more creamy consistency, kind of like cake batter.
Because we're adding more concrete.
You want a slightly runny consistency because if it's too thick, it makes it harder to shape later on. Tamping helps level the ground, making a flatter, stronger paver. You can pile your concrete in the middle and then smush it out to the edges.
About 3 scoops for now.
We found that we
gets
used
us.
about a bag and a half per paver, and that was with a 60-pound bag of concrete. So you could take your shovel and kind of create a rock texture by smushing it along the top.
Zoomed in.
You can kind of pat it and move it around, and you'll get sort of this rock texture. Rocks are natural, so they're not perfectly symmetrical. You'll kind of want to smush it and make it be kind of higher and lower in different areas, make them look irregular and different from one another.
Get some merge around the edges real nice.
And here I am tamping the ground to prep them for concrete. I'm on a side quest to forage for the perfect leaves for our pavers. This one looks good. Do we like him? I like him. He's got good bones. If you want to add a bit of character, feel free to press something into the pavers that you've just created.
Pro tip, don't forget to drink lots and lots of water.
If you do decide to press leaves in there, I would wait till it gets a little bit firmer, but not too firm.
I think this looks cool with all the leaves.
Do it.
Let your pavers cure for a few days before walking on them. We got excited and broke one.
After about like an hour, hour and a half, when it has some form, but it's still like a little malleable, you take these forms off. Get it out of there. Take our pins out. And then you're gonna notice it's got this unnatural shape. So I take my garden knife, or anything for that matter, anything that's like sturdy, you can even take a rock, and just pat the edges like that. Slap at a base. If you're still with us, consider subscribing. It really helps us make more content for you. And now, for staining.
I would use gloves. I ended up getting this all over me. It splattered everywhere.
Although this is pressure treated, this stain is going to give it a nice contrast against the black cinder blocks that we'll be staining soon.
We should sand these, but we're not going for fine finish work here. We're going for character.
Also use a rag if you can to spread it a little bit easier. I didn't happen to have a rag on me. It also will make the stain not as thick, which is better. It'll absorb a little bit better. Started by staining these cinder blocks, but it didn't really have the look I was going for. It wasn't as opaque as I would like, and it wasn't buildable. So this was kind of a fail for me, but we were able to use that later. So I decided to break out some black paint, tricorn black to be exact, which matches our tiny home. And I liked this look a lot better. So when you're painting cinder block, you might want to consider the nap that you get when you get these rollers. This one's really squishy, and it's 1/2 inch nap. So that'll be good to get into the crevices. That squish allows for it to hold paint and push it into those crevices. Otherwise, you'll have to go over and over and over again, or you'll have to get a paintbrush and kind of like stipple it in there. It's really hard to get the paint super close to the ground, so I would recommend painting the top 2 and then moving the bottom brick to the middle so it's easy to paint.
It.
It feels stirred.
Good.
Shaken, not stirred. You know in the books, it's actually stirred, not shaken?
I know. I don't know why they switched it.
Because it sounds cooler.
Does it?
Shaken, not stirred. Way cooler. You know, well, it's just how James Bond said it.
If you have a lot of area to cover and stain, you can put it in one of these sprayers and spray the concrete
Maybe don't
spray
go over it
all
anymore.
It's allowed us to do a few layers with ease and build up the color. The stain I
No, we
got
don't
was
spray the
transparent. I wanted it
baby.
to be a little bit more buildable so it looked
The
like
baby
a
wants to be
rock.
concrete.
If you go with the opaque, it might just be a little too dark without any variation. I really like texture. I also had the idea
Can I just run
to
over it again?
stain
We'll go
with
some paint.
cinder blocks to fill in all those little crevices. That was
That's a pretty good
honestly a
idea.
lifesaver because it was really hard to paint all of the textured surface of the cinder blocks. And there you have it, your custom DIY fire pit that will have everyone super jealous. Now get out there and grab someone special, make some s'mores, some memories, and enjoy all your hard work. Oh, that's a good shot. Look at him. Look at his legs.
Long boy.
Legs.
Long boy.